exploratory research design. Exploratory, ibig sabihin you don't limit yourself sa paghahanap ng data. Ito yung kadalasang ginagamit para magkaroon ng malawak o mas malalim na pagkakaunawa sa research study na balak ng pag-aralan. Ito ay para magkaroon ka pa ng mas marami pang impormasyon tungkol sa study. Ang exploratory research design ay inilalarawan bilang unorganized or unplanned na paraan ng paghahanap ng mga variables or sources. Dahil nga exploratory ito, wala siyang sumusunod na process sa paghahanap na data, parang magbabasa ka lang or magtatanong ka lang sa kaninong tao. At dahil unstructured ang exploratory research design, makakakuha ka nga ng mga importanteng data or yung mga relevant data sa research study that you plan to undertake. Ang pangalawa ay ang descriptive research design. Ginagamit ito sa pagkalap ng mga impormasyon, inference state or condition, sumasagot sa mga WH questions sa research study. Yung mga impormasyon na nakukuha o nakakalap natin ay dumadaan sa masusing pag-aaral, maraming process, large amount of data from large numbers of samples na makukuha na may tamang sagot or yung eksaktong sagot at data. At according to Pollitt and Handels 1999, the following research designs are classified as descriptive design. Una ay ang survey. So, familiar naman ang lahat sa survey. So, pero babasahin ko pa rin yung ibig sabihin niya. Survey is used in securing opinions and trends through the issue of questionnaires and interviews. Yun ngayon sa paraan ng pagsasagot natin sa mga questionnaires. Pangalawa ay ang correlation research. It is used to determine the existence of a relationship between two or more variables and to determine the degree of relationship. Ang evaluation research naman is conducted to elicit useful feedback from a variety of respondents from various fields to aid in decision-making or policy formulation. Ang causal research design is used to measure the impact that an independent variable or yung causing effect has on another variable being affected or why a certain result are obtained.
Good morning everyone, I'm Kimberly Dugan. I'm reporting the describing sample size and sampling procedures. Sampling, it is under the population that is specific from specific target. So the population, mas malaki pa po yun, then you'll get the interest under the population, yun na po yung sampling. And then the element is the data which you gather from the respondents. Next, population sample. Babasahin ko na lang po, sir. Consists of the total elements about which you can make inferences based on the data gathered from a determined sample size. So, halimbawa, meron ka nasa research mo, the senior high students. Under that population, pipili ka sa sample size na yun. So, kailangan specific, which pipili ka ng strand or kaya ng year level, ganun po. Now, I'm about to start the Sloven's formula determining the sample size. So, para makita po natin, kailangan po i-calculate yung sample size. And to determine, we need the population and the population which consists of members of a group that the researcher is interested in studying, the members of a group that usually have the common or similar characteristics. Now, we need to determine also the margin of error since it's allowable that the respondents will not say the truth as so it's allowable margin of error. Kung meron po tayo confidence interval na 95%, 5% po doon na yung margin of error. An example number 1 is the researcher wants to conduct a survey if the population of a big university is 35,000. Find the sample size if the margin of error is 5% using the formula. So the formula is, you need to find the N, which the sample size, big letter N, which is the total population population, and letter E for the margin of error. Now let's proceed to the sampling procedures, and I have to discuss the probability sampling procedures. Number 1 is the simple random sampling. Ito po yung meron po population, and then under doon, you list the population, tapos you randomly pick the number according to sa list mo, tapos yun na po yung kukunin mo sample. Yun na po, simple random sampling. Then, systematic random sampling, it requires a list of elements, and every element in the list is drawn for inclusion in the sample. For instance, you have a list of 5,000 persons, and you need a sample of 500, then you need to follow these steps. Divide the number of elements in the population by the desired sample size. So in this case, you divide 5,000 by 500, which gives you a value of 10. Now choose a random number. So kung gusto nyo pumili, in this example, you choose a number between 1 and 10. Let's say you choose 5. And then starting with the number you pick, which is 5, you take the every 10 from the step 1, and then you choose 5 as your starting point. Tapos, yun na po, bali, diba, pagpipili ka ng 5 first 5, and then you skip the 5, then first 5 ulit, then 5, 10, 15, 20, ganun po. Hanggang, ma-reach mo lang yung desired sample size, which is 500. Stratified random sampling is used when your population is divided into strata. Strata is the characteristics like male and female or education level. So, may specific target. So, and you want to include the stratum when you're taking your sample. So, halimbawa, sir, meron sa lugar nyo, kukuha ka ng population around your barangay. Tapos, ang gusto mo lang kunin doon, yung yung mga sweldo ng mga manggagawa doon. So, you'll find the stratum based on their income. Yes, based on their income. So the stratum may be already defined, like the census data, or you might make the stratum yourself to fit the purposes of your research. So, mas ginagamit ko yung stratified sampling sa mga mas educational purposes pa po, and then para po mas mabuti pa pong gamitin yung stratified kasi mas mabilis siya kaysa gamitin pa natin yung complete census. Yeah. Next, I have to call our next reporter, Jeff Manalo.
Hello everyone, so ayun nga, thank you Kim for introducing me. So lastly, cluster sampling. It is used mostly on large-scale surveys. It can be from a group of heterogeneous in nature and are mutually exclusive or random sampling technique. So ibig sabihin, yung cluster sampling, ginagamit siya sa mga malalaking grupo. Kumbaga, tulad sa barangay or yung mga students sa in a particular strand, ganon. So mag-move on na tayo sa non-probability sampling procedures. Una dito, yung convenience sampling. So yung convenience sampling, samples that are available and are capable of participating in a research study on a current issue. For example, nagkakonduct ka ng survey, tapos ini-interview mo yung mga audience inside a mall or park. So ibig sabihin, pag itong klaseng sampling na to, wala siyang questionnaire na ibibigay. Kumbaga kung ano yung isasagot nung interview mo, as is na yung answer niya doon. Next, yung snowball sampling. Snowball sampling is when you ask a respondent to refer or identify another respondents who can participate in the study. So ibig sabihin, kumbaga pag tinanong mo yung tatanungin mo, meron ba siyang may recommend na tao or bagay base dun sa tanong mo? Ayun. So parang, yun nga, kaya siya tinawag na snowball sampling kasi pasa siya ng pasa sa mga questions. Next, Purposive sampling, a procedure in which samples are chosen for a special purpose. So ayun, yung purposive sampling, hindi siya basta-basta random namimili ng mga tao. Kumbaga, namimili lang siya ng mga samples base dun sa kailangan na data na kunin. Ayun. Quota sampling. First period for isa quota sampling, bibigyan na lang ako ng example para mas maintindihan. So, let's say kailangan respondents sa both sex, male and female. So, ang gagawin mo para maging equally yung pag-divide sa kanila, let's say, kailangan 40 respondents. So, ibig sabihin, 20 males plus 20 females. Tapos, yung difference niya, yung main difference niya from stratified random sampling and quota sampling is it can be explained in a way that in quota sampling you use non-random selection. So, ibig sabihin, sa quota sampling, pili lang yung babae at lalaki. Hindi katulad sa stratified random sampling, literal na random yung mga sampling. So, kahit ilan yung babae, kahit ilan yung lalaki. So, ayun na nga, tapos na tayo sa non-probability at probability sampling procedures. Now, next naman is we will discuss about designing the questionnaire and establishing validity and reliability by Nicole Lapaw.
So the next lesson is about designing the questionnaire and establishing validity and reliability. So first, ano ba yung questionnaire? Questionnaire, ito yung ginagamit mong instrument para malaman yung response ng mga tao sa gusto mong aralin. So sa designing a questionnaire, merong 6 steps. And yung first step is the background. Background, ito yung basic research mo sa construct na gusto mong gamitin. Construct meaning, ayun yung traits or characteristics na gusto mong i-measure o evaluate. For example, yung intelligence level of satisfaction, at saka academic achievement. And yung next step, step 2, questionnaire conceptualization. Questionnaire conceptualization, dito mo pipiliin kung paano mo gustong mag-answer yung mga respondents mo. For example, yes or no, or yes, no, at saka I don't know, in which I don't know is a neutral response. And pwede mo rin gamitin yung Likert scale na parang nag-vary from one extreme to another. Tapos halimbawa nun yung frequency of occurrence. For example, very frequently, occasionally, rarely, and very rarely. Tapos, next naman, step 3, yung establish the validity of the questionnaire. Validity as defined here is the traditionally defined as degree to which a test measure what it claims or purports to be measuring. Merong iba-ibang uri para malaman mo yung validity ng isang research for face validity, content validity, criteria-related validity, concurrent validity, predictive validity, and construct validity. Step 4 is establish the reliability of the questionnaire. Reliability indicates the accuracy or precision of the measuring instrument. Halimbawa nito yung test reliability. Test reliability, ito yung parang magpapasagot ka ng same questionnaire sa iba-ibang tao. Tapos naman yung split half method, parehas na patungkol sa isang study pero different scale na method yung inamit. And lastly, yung internal consistency. Tapos step 5, pilot testing the questionnaire. Ito yung parang kung may mga hindi maintindihan sa questionnaire mo, ganon, magpapasagot ka kunyari sa mga kakilala mo, pwede silang magbigay ng feedbacks kung ano ba sa tingin yung mas makakapag-better dun sa questionnaire mo. And the last step, revise the questionnaire. Ito yung kapag nalinaw na kung ano ba yung mga malabo sa questionnaire mo or yung mga pwede pang idagdag para maging better. And after nun, ayun na, pwede mo siyang i-revise mo na siya para pag pinamigay mo na siya, okay na yung questionnaire mo. Yun lang. And now our next reporter, Mr. Joseph Sabala.
mahalagang magamit sa bahaging statement of the problem ng iyong research. Kabilang na rin ang test hypothesis at evaluated outcomes. Types of quantitative data collection procedures. Observation. Observation is a systematic data collection approach where the researchers use all of their senses to examine people in natural settings and naturally occurring situations. Ang ginagamit ang uri ng data collection process nito kapag dumating yung oras na wala nang masagot yung mga respondents sa mga tanong na binuo ng mga mananaliksik. Upang masagutan ng mga tanong na nilapat sa iyong researcher ay gagawa ng isang checklist na angkop sa rating scale na maaring tumukoy o magkategorya sa behavior at attributes ng iyong inoobserbahan na subject o participant. Next. Survey. Quantitative data can be collected using four main types of survey. What is sample survey? Sample survey is a study that obtains information from a subset of a population in order to estimate population attributes. For example, customer satisfaction, healthcare politics, market research, academic or education surveys. Administrative data. Researchers collect information primarily for administrative purposes. It was collected by governments and other organizations for the purpose of registration, transaction, and record keeping. Sa kasalukuyan, yung pangongolekta ng mga administrative data ay madali na lang sa tulong ng advanced technology since all government operations and legal organizations are operated under the digital platform. Next is census. Researchers collect data from a chosen group of people or selected population. It is the official process of counting the number of people in a city or town, collecting information about them. And the next one is research studies. It is also known as the graduate study. It is a survey of graduates from education institution which takes place sometime after the graduation or the end of the training. The next one is quantitative technique. This method of collecting data involves gathering information from a large representative sample which is kung tutuusin is isa sa pinakamalubong bahagi sa paggawa ng isang research. Maaari itong gamitin sa quantitative at qualitative research at it involves the participation of the researcher who is the one materializing the data and information provided by the respondents or participants, and it can be analyzed by assigning numerical values. Questionnaire. Questionnaire may be standardized or research made. When we say standardized questionnaire, it is the questionnaire has gone through the process of validation procedures, has been piloted and revised. When a questionnaire is said to be standardized, with each respondent is to be exposed to the same question in the same system of voting responses. Sa turo, in 2012, provided the advantages of standardized usability questionnaire. Number one is the validity. This means it has undergone the process of validation procedures. It determines how well the questionnaire measures what it is intended to measure. Next, reliability. It is often measured using sample procedures to see how well questionnaire can differentiate a fraction of the sample size. Objectivity. To attain this measure, practitioners or experts are requested to verify statements of other practitioners in the same field. And quantification, it is the standardized questionnaire has undergone statistical analysis. And the last one, norms. It The standardized questionnaire have normalized references and databases which allow one to convert raw scores to percentile ranks. The following discussion will guide you in formulating good question in a questionnaire. A questionnaire must avoid leading questions, meaning yung questionnaire mo hindi dapat nagpapakita o nagsasuggest ng maaaring isagot ng iyong participant. Kasi maaaring yung leading question na yon is maging sagot na nila upang maging maganda yung impression nila sa iyong research. Number 2, be specific with what you like to measure. Sino ba naman yung gusto yung gulo? Siyempre, pang madali para sa participant, kailangan na certain agad at naka-specify kung ano yung pinag-aaralan mo. The next one, avoid unfamiliar words that the respondents might not be familiar with. Hindi naman lahat ng participants may parehong intellectual ability sa'yo. Marapat lamang na yung gagamitin mo na words at definitions or references ay madaling maintindihan lang. Kung kinakailangan, pwede rin na maglaan ka ng panahon upang gumawa ng version sa English, gumawa ng English o kaya Tagalog version ng mga iyong tanong. The next one is avoid personal questions. Kasi kapag nagtanong ka ng personal questions, maaaring mailang yung mga participant mo at magresulta upang hindi na nila ituloy yung pagsagot ng questionnaire. The last one, make your questions short and easy to answer.
Ano nga ba ang purpose ng data analysis pa? Ang purpose nito is to gather information or evidence to find a solution to the research questions. Pinipredict na rin yung outcome ng isang research. Ang sunod naman ay ang data plan and analysis strategies. Ang una dito ay exploratory data analysis. Papaliwanag siya. It is used when it is not clear what to expect from the data. This strategy uses numerical and visual presentation such as graph. Yung parang graph na more likely na age, gender, igagraph mo siya sa gano'n. So ang sunod naman ay descriptive data analysis. It is used to describe, show, or summarize the meaning of it. Leading to a simple interpretation of data. Quantitative to. So, more like citizenship mo and yung summary sa graph. Sunod naman ay inferential data analysis. Inferential statistics has hypothesis about a set of data to reach conclusion or make generalization beyond merely describing to the data. More like sa population. Population, sa group data siya, group data. Sunod naman is the quantitative analysis and evaluation. May 3 types siya. Ang una ay nominal scale. It is used for labeling variables. There is sometimes called categorical data. Isa categorical data siya. Ang sunod is ordinary scale. Assign order of items or the characteristics being measured. Ito yung nag-measure ng bawat individual ng research. Sunod yung interval scale. From the word interval, yung interval group research is equal units of measurement, thereby making it possible to interpret the order of these scale scores and distinguish them. Kunyari, yung population na itong isang research, makaka-affect ba sa kabilang group data. Parang gano'n. Range scale, pag-nash siya. It is considered the highest level of measurement. Pero sa characteristic of an interval scale, pero sa 0 point. Sa descriptive data analysis naman,
Okay, punta naman tayo dun sa mean for group data. When the observations are grouped into classes, the formula for group data is the weighted mean is equal to the sum of the column fx divided by the total number of observations. When the data is grouped into classes, the class midpoint represents the formula. Median is the midpoint of the distributions. For ungrouped data, the median may be calculated for ungroup by doing these following steps. Number 1, arrange the items from lowest to highest. Number 2, count to the middle value. For an odd number of values arranged the lowest to highest, the median corresponds to the value. If the array contains an even number of observations, the median is the average of the two values. So, number of values nyo is odd. Yung makikita na kagad dun yung median is yung middle value nung number of values yung naka-arrange from lowest to highest. For group data, median, the data are grouped into classes. The median will fall into the one of the class as the n minus n over 2 value. So, median, yung formula, median is equal to L or the exact lower limit of the class containing the median or yung median class plus interval size times total number of items n minus 2 n over 2 minus the cumulative frequency in the class preceding the median class all over frequency of the median class. I mean formula. Next is the mode. The mode is the most frequently occurring value in a set of observation. In cases where every item has an equal number of observations, there is no mode. The mode is appropriate for nominal data. Number 2, measures of dispersions. The extent of the spread or the dispersion of the data, also called measures of variability, or yung range. Range is the difference between the largest and the smallest values in a set of data. And yung range ay yung pag minus mo yung highest and the lowest value mo yun sa set ng data. The average mean deviation, defined as the absolute difference or deviation between the values in a set of data and the mean, divided by the total number of values in a set of data. And standard next is standard deviation. It's a measure of spread or variation of data about the mean. Standard deviation computed by calculating the average distance that the average value is from the mean. For ungrouped data, yung solution niya, ito lang, step by step. Number 1, compute the mean. Next, subtract the mean from each score. Number 3, square each difference from step 2. Or yung pagka-square mo yung difference mo dun sa pag-subtract ng mean dun sa bawat score. Number 4, sum all the scores from step 3. Or sum mo yung mga minus mo na mean. Or yung x minus mean. Or nga yun, yung pag-minus, pag-subtract ng mean doon sa bawat score. Number 5, divide the number in step 4 by n minus 1. Yung n, ayun yung items or score, yung scores. The quantity n minus 2 is called the degrees of freedom. A statistical concept that produces a more accurate estimate of data. Number 6, the last, compute the standard deviation using the formula.
So yun nga, no? Punta naman tayo sa inferential data analysis. So dito sa mga inferential data analysis, ito yung mga statistical treatments na nag-generalize ng isang hypothesis. So, sa book, refers to the statistical measures and techniques that allows us to use samples to make generalization about the population from which the samples were drawn. So, meron tayong iba't ibang inferential statistics tulad ng Pearson R, t-test, ANOVA, chi-square, Spearman rank order. Yun. So unang i-discuss ay ang Pearson R correlation coefficient. So dito sa Pearson R, ang ibig sabihin nito ay the relationship between two quantitative variables may be measured by Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient, which is symbolized by the letter R. So the correlation coefficient R may range from 1, indicating a perfect positive linear relationship, to a -1, indicating a perfect negative linear relationship. And any value between the two when R is equal to 0, then no linear relationship exists between the two variables. The closer the coefficient is to +1, the stronger the positive or the direct relationship. The closer the coefficient to -1, the stronger the negative or the inverse relationship. The coefficient is nearer to 0, the variables are not linearly related to each other, though they may be non-linearly related. A correlation coefficient of 0 represents the weakest relationship, although it is still possible a non-linear relationship may exist when R is equal to 0. So, ang sinasabi lang nito ni Pearson R, ito yung merong kinalaman sa relationship. So, kapag daw yung significant value niya ay nasa 1 or malapit sa 1, ibig sabihin nun, meron tayong direct relationship, a perfect direct relationship. So, ibig sabihin nun, linear yung relationship ng mga variables. Tapos kapag -1 naman, inverse siya. So, baliktad naman yung line dun sa graph. So, ayun, next ko yung di-discuss ay ang ANOVA. ANOVA stands for Analysis of Variance. It is appropriate when one wishes to compare two or more means, compare two or more groups, determine whether statistically significant difference exists among the group means. For example, an ANOVA would be appropriate for the following. There will be a difference between grade 1, 2, and 3 scores on the elementary mathematics achievement test. So, ginagamit tong ANOVA para i-determine yung diferensya ng bawat group. So, sa example, meron tayong scores ng grade 1, 2, and 3 sa mathematics achievement test. So, ang ginagawa ng ANOVA, titingnan niya kung meron bang pagkakaiba-iba sa magiging scores ng grades 1, 2, and 3 sa mathematics achievement test. So, dito sa ANOVA, ito yung magde-decide kung i-accept ba natin yung null hypothesis or i-reject natin yung null hypothesis. A t-test is used if one wishes to make a comparison between two groups, say an experimental and a control group. The t-test allows one to determine whether a statistical significant difference exists between two means. Thus, the t-test compares two group means. For example, a t-test would be appropriate to use for testing the following hypothesis. It is expected that the boys will have higher mathematics scores than girls. So, the inferential statistics calculated in the t-test is called the t-ratio, which is denoted as T in most reports and articles. The larger the ratio, the t-ratio in absolute value, the more likely we will reject the null hypothesis because the more evidence in the data that the two groups differ from each other. So, kapag daw mas malaki yung ratio, mas mataas daw yung chance na i-reject yung null hypothesis. Kasi sobrang magkaiba sila, sobrang malayo yung difference nila dalawa. So, pasok na tayo sa Spearman rank order correlation. So, this is used when data available are expressed in terms of ranks. So, gagamitin mo lang yung Spearman para i-relate or i-rank yung mga groups mo according to their relationship. So, maliban pa doon, pwede mo rin gamitin yung chi-square test for independence. This is used when data are expressed in terms of frequencies or percentages. So the chi-square test is useful for learning whether a relationship exists between two qualitative nominal variables such as sex and dropping out of school, or race and choice of high school programming study. Chi-square would be appropriate for the following research question. Is political party affiliation associated with presidential voting choice? Or is race related to special education? Ang chi-square naman, ginagamit naman ito kung yung mga variables mo raw ay qualitative. So, kunyari nga daw, sabi dito, yung political party, tsaka voting. So, dito, titingnan lang natin kung meron dong relationship sa dalawang yun. Tapos kung meron, pwede nating sabihin sa hypothesis natin na tama nga or mali nga yung hypothesis natin kasi meron nga or walang relationship between din sa dalawang qualitative variables natin.
Take the hypothesis, population and sample. Population and sample is a measure based on a population is called a parameter, while a measure based on a sample is called statistics. Differential statistics requires that the sample be drawn by random sampling. If there is bias by sampling, it is possible for the inference to be wrong. When you're doing inferential statistics, dapat walang bias kasi pag may bias, there's a possible chance na magkamali yung inference. Statistical significance. It means that a relationship between two or more variables is caused by something other than by random chance, not due to chance. Level of significance shows how likely the results of your data are due to chance. Also means that there is a chance that the finding is true. Statistical hypothesis used to determine whether the result of a data is statistically significant. The hypothesis is a preconceived idea assumed to be true and has to be tested for its truth or falsity. The null hypothesis is indicates that there is no difference between the two means comparison. While in the alternative hypothesis, it indicates that there is difference between the group means. If the null hypothesis is rejected, then the alternative hypothesis is accepted. There are type 1 and 2 errors. The type 1 error is when a researcher rejected a null hypothesis, while in fact it is true. The type 2 error occurs when the data from the sample procedure results that fail to reject the null hypothesis, while in fact the null hypothesis is false and should be rejected. Steps in hypothesis testing. Number 1 is to state the null hypothesis. Hypothesis is a statement that no difference exists between the averages or means of two groups. Number 2 is to choose the statistical test and perform the calculation. The third step is to state the level of significance for the statistical test. Number 4, compute the calculated value. Number 5, determine the critical value that the statistic must attain to be significant. Number 6 is to make the decision. If the calculated value is greater than the critical value, you reject the null hypothesis. If the critical value is larger, you conclude that you have failed to reject the null hypothesis.